Buenas noches, everybody. It's wonderful to see you. It's wonderful to be here. I wonder if my camera is wide enough for you to see how much I'm talking with my hands. I'll bring it in for you. I love you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're talking about fist fighting. We're picking fights. I'm Josh Moody. That's John Batanti. This is Algorithm versus the Experts.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome. UFC 283. Are you excited for this one?
I am. I really am. I don't know. So I other than Glover versus Jamal, I don't think I knew a single fight that was happening on this card. It was literally the only thing that made it to my radar. And there's some fucking Neil Magny's one of my favorite fighters.
Neil Magny's one of the biggest dogs in the game.
Davidson Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno 4.
Yeah.
There's never been 4 fights in the UFC. Davidson Figueiredo hasn't fought a man named Brandon Moreno in almost 4 years.
Pretty much like defended his whole title run has been Brandon Moreno.
It was Joseph Benavidez and then Brandon Moreno.
It's so ridiculous.
Joseph Benavidez twice for the title, and he is now about to fight Brandon Moreno 4 times in a row for the title. In a row. This is ridiculous. Yep. But then you also have like Jailton Almeida's on here. Bear Jew.
We're a fan of him. You like Bear Jew.
Oh,
yep, I know.
Bear Jew. Jessica Andrade.
Violence.
RoboCop. Yo, did I say Jailton Almeida? Because Jailton Almeida.
Yep.
This is such a good card. There's
so many Brazilian bangers. $84.99 plus tax. UFC pay-per-view. $84.99. It keeps going up.
$84.99. Oh my god!
Another $5. So now you're pretty much at $100 with all the taxes and fees.
Once this podcast is profitable, I will pay for the UFC, but fucking $84. Oh, it hurts to
it's gonna keep going up until people stop buying it.
I can't believe people still pay that.
In another 6 months, it'll be another $5. It'll be $90. Until it gets to are we gonna reach boxing prices, expensive boxing prices for every UFC? It's gonna be $120 per pay-per-view, which I think was Conor Mayweather and Mayweather Pacquiao. It's $120 for an expensive pay-per-view.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right, Johnny. What's the first fight?
We're starting at the top because I want to hear what you have to say. And I just saw Josh's pick actually, but all right, we got Glover Teixeira, Jamal Sweet Dreams Hill. So they threw this together. After the disappointing result in Jan versus Magomedov. Why am I thinking that? Not Magomedov.
Magomedov.
Magomedov,
No. Ankalaev.
Ankalaev. Yeah, Magomed Ankalaev. After that, right away, the UFC, Glover was supposed to be involved in that fight, and he, being that Yuri had to give up the belt due to injury, and they booked this right away. They were like, Glover, this didn't happen. They had a backup plan, and they got that result, and they called, and they made a matchup right away. So Jamal Hill getting a bump here. He's going to be I think he's ranked 6th in the division, and he's going to be fighting for the title against Glover. Jamal Hill's last fight against Thiago Santos was, I think he showed a lot more levels to his game. It was a gritty win because I thought that was the best Thiago we've seen in a while. I thought he had a really good game plan, and he tried to do what he had to do to win the fight. He just gassed, he eventually gassed out a little bit. And Jamal Hill hung in there. Glover, everyone talks about his age. I still don't think that's as big as a factor as people make it out to be. He just went almost 5 rounds in an amazing fight with Yuri. He made brain farted at the end. He was winning the fight, and he ended up getting choked out. He got hit in the second round a lot. He does get hit. He gets hurt, but it's hard to put Glover away. It's really hard to do with one punch. I mean, the line of this fight opened up. Glover was a small favorite. Now Jamal Hill's about -150, so people are backing Hill. But man. Yeah, Jamal Hill gets knockouts. He's got power. He gets finishes, but is he really knocking people out like that? Like, outside of Johnny Walker, is he really just gonna walk in here? Like, for him to think he's gonna walk in here and just knock Glover out right away in round one, I think that's ridiculous. No, I don't see that happening. A couple things. Jamal Hill stepping up a competition here. This is the first time outside of the United States, let alone fighting outside the United States. And it's the biggest fight of his life. And he's going up against a veteran. A veteran's veteran. I don't like the way Thiago Santos took Jamal Hill down, even though he showed some good things to get back up. I think Glover is a lot different. I think if Glover gets them takedowns early, and he's really good at that, how many rounds would it take for Jamal Hill to not be Jamal Hill, have that power anymore? If Glover's on top of you and beating you up for 2 rounds, you're not the same striker. So I have to go with Glover here until I'm proved wrong, or Jamal Hill just knocks him out. Maybe Glover, maybe he's slow. I don't know about that. People say Glover's slow. He's old. I mean, he might not be the quickest puncher anymore, but he still fights very smart. He's very tough. So I like Glover.
You don't need to be fast to be of great timing. So the people feeling like Glover is slow, not really worried about that. There are plenty of fighters who are slow. And every division has someone who's the fastest and someone who's the slowest. And it's not always the fastest fighter that wins the most fights. I would prefer a fast fighter to a slow fighter, but I would prefer a fighter with impeccable timing than either. I don't know if we have thoroughly vetted Jamal Hill on the ground. I believe that he has better hands than Glover. I think that he has good takedown defense. He lives in an area of the country that has good wrestling. I don't know anything about the gym that he's at, so I don't know if he's like working with crazy high level wrestlers while he's there. But he's fought a number of quality grapplers in the UFC. His only loss to Paul Craig. He good takedown defense, but he's also gotten taken down 8 times over the course of 2 fights. So, I think Glover's going to take him down.
Yeah.
I saw him fight live in Raleigh, North Carolina, when he fought Darko Soldic. And it was like the guy took him down over and over and over, and he just constantly got right back up. And there was nothing the guy could actually do with it. Mm-hmm. So he knows what he's doing. But at the same time, he didn't take the Bear Jew down, and he was on top of him. So, he's a little too willing to grapple for me. Bear Jew really only has one path to victory. If you pull a Volkan Oezdemir and just don't grapple with him, you can win. And if you lost that test, Glover's going to force grappling on you instead of request grappling of you. Which makes the Bear Jew sound bad. But Bear Jew's awesome. Love me some Bear Jew. Glover's got this.
Yeah, all right. It's a pick'em fight right now. Or I'm sorry, Jamal Hill went to the little bit of a favor, but yeah, I think Glover wins. Do you think is this one of your waving the magic wand? Like, this is Glover's got this. Like, no doubt, he should be a favorite.
No, because I also think Jamal Hill's special.
There's a lot of things to like about Jamal Hill. He doesn't get hit.
Like if something happens, if Connor throws another dolly at a bus and this fight doesn't happen, Jamal Hill still fights for a title. Like there's nobody else in the division that I think is gonna derail Jamal Hill deep and hard enough to prevent him from contesting for a world title.
Right.
Like I do think he's that good. So it's hard to say. Path to victory: stop the takedown, avoid the overhand. The overhand sets up the takedown, so that's a little bit tricky. Glover doesn't have the greatest takedown percentage, but he is pretty consistent with them, and he gets a lot of them. He gets 2 takedowns per 15 minutes, which is pretty high. His accuracy isn't high, but it's probably just due to the amount of attempts and chaining and stuff like that. So I wouldn't expect Jamal Hill to win this fight. I don't expect Jamal Hill to win this fight. But I can definitely see a situation in which he's able to keep it on the feet long enough. He's also a really active striker on the ground. And I think that's something that gave Glover issues against Jiri. Jiri threw almost as many strikes as Glover did on the ground, and Glover had 4 times as much top game. When I looked at Jamal Hill's stats, one of his fights, he had 4 seconds of control time. And in that time, he threw 4 punches. That's ludicrous. Like, they were only on the ground for 4. There's ground specialists that throw 4 punches in a fight. He's super active with his hands on the ground. Super active. And I think that could give Glover some issues. But I don't know how much damage he's going to do off his back. And I don't know how he'll deal with Glover's grappling pressure. So I'm expecting this is Glover's fight. But let's do this, Jamal Hill. Let's do this. Midwest.
Ready for it. Davison Figueiredo, Brandon Moreno for co-main events. Yeah, so this fight is a pick'ems. I mean, the first time they fought, I'm going back. I mean, Davison Figueiredo was like a -300 favorite, and they drew. And Davison Figueiredo was a -200 favorite in the second fight, and he lost. And then he won the last one, and now they're just like these guys are so fun to watch. I didn't like that Figueiredo dropped Moreno twice their last fight. Maybe his power was starting to get to Moreno a little bit more. Figueiredo fought a much better third fight, but Brandon Moreno is just a dog too. He stays active. That he had a good body kick finish on Kai Kara France, just landed a perfect shot after Kai Kara started to rally a little bit and find his stride in that fight. I like the adjustments Figueiredo made that last fight, but he was also training with Henry Cejudo. I think he left that camp for this fight, and he's doing training. He's training somewhere else, so I don't know.
I believe I know. So the reason that he would have left the Henry camp is because he had a manager change. And that connection was through his manager. His manager was I can't think of his name. Is the crazy dude with the? It's not important. Yeah. It's not important. Waleed Ismail, I believe is his name. But he's now being managed by Uriah Faber. So I know I heard him talk about I heard Faber talk about some cross training that Davidson was doing up there at Team Alpha, no longer Team Alpha Male. I wouldn't be surprised if that's where he did part of his camp, and then doing another pretty big percentage of it at his small town in Brazil, where he can get his own private coaching.
All right.
But I haven't looked.
Yeah, I mean, they're just so hard. I'll go with Figueiredo, but this is as close as it gets. I like Moreno too. I don't know. I guess he's staying more active. It's hard for Figueiredo to make weight for this, but he looks like he's all right for this game. I don't know. He just hits so fucking hard for a flyweight.
Yeah. I mean, so what? I'm trying to figure out how to explain why I feel this way, but I'm struggling. I don't think that Davidson Figueiredo is going to add new tools.
Probably not.
And the thing that he did that changed the last fights was a more appropriate allocation of his offense. So he spaced it out a little bit more. He was more on the counter and was more selective about what he was going to counter. I think Moreno is still trying to. I think Moreno is still trying to bloom. Like, I think he's still trying to expand his skill set, not just sharpen his skill set.
Mm-hmm.
And I think being the younger fighter, coming in with new tools, I think he's shown that he has everything that he needs to beat Davidson Figueiredo. He will have spent a significant amount of time training for this fight with James Krause. I think he will have gotten good ideas there. And I like that he'll be doing this with another camp now. I don't know who he's doing this with, actually. For some reason, I feel like he's with Henry Cejudo now, but I also think I'm lying about that. Maybe he was just there for a period of time. Anyways, I think Moreno's got this. Usually, there's not a lot of fourth fights, but usually the younger fighter wins the majority of trilogies, and more frequently, the fighter that wins the second fight wins the third fight, unless there's like a dramatic amount of time, or one guy has a bunch of fights in between. So, like, the fact that Moreno fought Kai Kara-France in between, I think that's really, really good for him.
Yeah, I can see that.
He will have had to expand his skill set in this time. And when Davidson Figueiredo was injured or whatever and wasn't training at full capacity or whatever, like, I think there's a lot of reasons to lean Brandon Moreno in this fight. I don't think that Team Alpha Male is going to add a bunch of tools to any fighter. It's a good camp, but I don't think they're going to add a bunch of tools. It's just not that type of camp, from what I can tell. And you're definitely not going to add a bunch of tools to an old man. So I got Moreno. Pretty confident.
All right, next fight. Gilbert Burns versus Neil Magny. So let's start off by saying Gilbert Burns is currently pushing minus 500 of a favorite over Neil Magny, which to me is freaking ridiculous. Gilbert Burns opened up about minus 250. He's now almost doubled to about minus 500. I mean, people just don't like Neil Magny, and he just Man, he gets no respect, but he's just one of the toughest. He's one of the toughest guys out there. Um, he's got a reach edge over almost everybody. He's gonna have a 10-inch reach advantage over Burns. The thing I really like about Neil Magny is he doesn't really absorb that many significant strikes. He's hard to hit. Shows good volume. He'll put together combos, kicks. He stays active. He's gonna move. He really shines at keeping the pace and kicking it up on you as the fight goes on. Um, he's only struggled. I think we talked about this last time. He struggles with chain wrestlers. That's where he does his worst. Against everyone else, he does okay. Um, I'm kind of hard to see where this Gilbert Burns is a 5-1 favorite here. I mean, Neil Magny's tough. He's got a lot of submission losses on his record, but I mean, Gilbert's not the best wrestler. I mean, yeah, if he gets it, if he's gonna, is he gonna wrestle? Like, is that gonna be a style? We've seen Gilbert Burns gas in multiple ways. Um, I, Gilbert's explosive. He's gonna throw. He can always throw those power shots, but Magny doesn't get hit. Magny throws combos. I feel like Burns is more of like explode. I have this overhand. I can throw some powerful combos. Maybe try to take you down. I don't know. What about his last fight against Hamza? Like, great effort, great fight. Like, but what that take out of him? He was gassed in that third round. I mean, there was a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's plenty of doors for Magny to win this fight. With that being said, he doesn't. I think this would be a really big win for him. Um, I'm going to go with Magny. I just think the price is ridiculous. I'm probably going to bet him. So I'm just going to go with him. I'm not going to pick against them on here. Like, I think Magny's got a lot of value here. I think this fight can go his way. How about you?
Neil Magny has a skill set to beat anyone on any given day. So with a line that dramatic, it absolutely makes sense to pick Neil Magny. And I am rooting for Neil Magny. That being said, Neil Magny will not be winning this fight. I don't believe that he has an issue with chain wrestlers. I believe that he has an issue with a strength disparity against technically dominant grapplers.
Okay.
Like all but 2 of his losses, he got mangled by better grapplers than him. All of them. Gilbert Burns has the best jiu-jitsu in the top 15 right now. I'm gonna leave some space to be wrong there, but I'm pretty confident that Gilbert Burns has the best jiu-jitsu in the top 15. Like, Dos Anjos smashed him. Damian Maia smashed him. Like, Chiesa, I'm pretty sure smashed him. That might have gone to decision. I love Neil Magny, but there is very clearly a guy to beat him, and Gilbert Burns fits that silhouette.
Okay.
So the line is actually, I mean, -500 on anybody other than Umar Nurmagomedov is unreasonable. And I don't have that kind of confidence in Gilbert. I don't have that. I just don't. I don't care who Gilbert's fighting. I don't have -500 confidence in Gilbert. But Magny's Gilbert's Magny's kryptonite.
All right. I'll see it. Jess Andrade, Lauren Murphy. Jess Andrade is also about a -500 favorite, and for good reason. I don't see where Lauren Murphy has some. You can back lucky because she gets some lucky decisions, some lucky fights. I did pick her last fight. I thought she could upset Misha Tate, and she did. Yeah, she's just not. Every time she steps up, I don't think she belongs on Jess Andrade's level. Jess Andrade wins this fight. Does she win by finish? I don't know. But Jess Andrade. Not much to say about it.
Yeah. Lord, I look, hey, I get confused by Lauren Murphy on a regular basis. Nobody has finished her, and she's fought everyone. But I also am confused every time she does as well as she does. So do not be confused if this fight looks terrible. If you're like, yo, Jessica Andrade is going to smash this bitch. And then it doesn't look like that at all, and Jessica Andrade squeaks by, that would make a lot of sense.
We'll see. That would
But
surprise me, as Andrade only loses to some of the best people. Yeah, but
so does every single person other than Sarge. Lauren Murphy's only lost to title contenders or title holders. So, like, you could say the same thing about her. Like, I don't understand why Lauren Murphy is so successful. And that's on me. Like, I should really find that out. Because she is, like, the more I look at her, the more she is super successful.
Mm-hmm.
And she's fought the same, other than Rose and Wei Li, like, she's more or less fought the same level of competition. Okay, Tisha and Claudia. Anyways, Lauren Murphy absolutely could win this fight, but Jessica Andrade will most certainly win this fight.
Next fight's exciting. Paul Craig,
the Bear Jew,
versus Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker had that weird knockout. I mean, is he inconsistent in there? Yeah, sometimes he wants to fight. Sometimes he takes too much time to do anything. But the guy is he's very well rounded. He's extremely hard to take down. He's strong. He's fast. He's powerful. The problem is he just can't. His chin doesn't hold up. He likes to get in slugfests, and his chin can't back him up on it. That's the only time that Johnny Walker is very talented. I mean, he's very athletic. Is Paul Craig the guy that's gonna do that with Johnny Walker? He's like the non-guy that can knock Johnny Walker out. Like, he's
gonna fuck Johnny Walker up.
Shut up! No, Johnny Walker's finishing Paul Craig. I think Johnny Walker wins in the first round. He's gonna catch him with something, or Paul Craig's gonna try to dive on his leg and realize that I'm hanging on a truck here, and he's just gonna get hammer fisted.
No.
Johnny Walker's grappling is pretty good. I mean, he's gonna be able to. He's a black belt in his own right. He's very athletic. Johnny Walker, round one.
Yeah, Johnny Walker's very athletic. I have no idea if he's a black belt. But here's the thing,
Round one, finish. No, Johnny Walker
round one finish.
He's a black belt. Round one finish. Paul Craig's going home.
I will agree to a round one finish with a potential round two finish. However, I think Johnny Walker's dumb.
Oh, he might be.
Paul Craig is an intelligence test.
Hell yeah.
And Johnny Walker's dumb. Paul Craig all day. Let's go, Bear Jew. I love Paul Craig. His game plan is, I love the way that he is able to make this work. But all you have to do is not grapple with him. Just move away and don't grapple with him. And but so many people grapple with him, and they think he's hurt, and sometimes he is hurt, and they think I'll just do a little more damage and then I'll leave. Or he shoots and then he pulls guard, and you're like, well, now I'm on top of him? Like, no. He tricks too many people. He's super clever and super skilled, and he is going to hammer Dum Johnny Walker.
All right, that's gonna be a good one. He got that upset. Well, next fight, Mauricio Shogun Rua. His last fight, he's gonna retire in front of the Brazilian crowd. Ihor Potieria. So Johnny Walker's a -200 favorite. Ihor's a -200 favorite over Rua. You like Paul Craig to pull the upset there. I like Shogun to go out with a win here. The books have Ihor -200, -220. So they think Rua is completely washed and completely done and just has nothing to offer because he is a way better fighter than Ihor padded record Potieria. I mean, he's going to decision with guys that are 11-19. I mean, I didn't like his last fight. He has no striking defense. I mean, whatever's left of Mauricio Rua has a lot of ways to win this fight. I mean, I think he can dominate if he shows up, maybe 2 rounds. He's going to get fucking tired. I think he hangs on. He doesn't get knocked out his last fight. I like him to upset. And so do you, I think.
Oh, wow. I hadn't looked at Ihor's record. I did watch him fight, and I was unimpressed. But I was like, I don't know, maybe. And I was still like back and forth, hadn't really made a pick. But man, padded record. So you're 16-2, and you fight a guy who's 5-2. All right. You're 15-2. You fight a guy who's 11-5. That makes sense. You're 14-2. You fight a guy who's 0-3. Okay. Oh, and you guys go to decision. You're 13-2. You fight a guy who's 0-0. Man, like you're 11-2. You fight a guy who's 1-9. 10-2. You fight a guy who's 0-0. You go to decision with him too. Unacceptable. This is not a quality fighter. And whoever's been picking fighters for the Contender Series is not doing their job. Actually, they are doing their job because the job is to make sure the trains run on time and just keep the wheels turning. But Shogun's going to smash this dude. This was a gift. This was a gift, and the UFC doesn't give gifts often.
Wow. All right. I like it. Yeah, especially you get a nice price on it. Gregory Robocop Rodriguez, Bruno Ferreira.
What was the line on that last fight?
What's that?
What was the line on the last fight, the Shogun fight?
Ihor's -200. So
bet the house on Shogun. Bet the fucking
house. Plus 160. I think it's a great price too. I do. I think it's so we're gonna put it as that's gonna be one of our bets. Let me write this in. I like Hua. To get it done. And I do think maybe that line will drop when we get closer to fight time because unless Hua has just nothing left and he doesn't belong to even being there, which I mean, I don't know about that. But all right. Gregory Robocop Rodriguez, Bruno Ferreira. Robocop's kind of impressive. Shows a decent gas tank, ton of power. Powerful guy. He seems like he refuses to take people down and uses wrestling as ground and pound, as jiu-jitsu, which might be a clear path for him against a lot of guys. With that being said, I don't think it matters much. I don't know if it's going to matter much here. Both of these guys like to bang. Ferreira, from what I've seen and read, he likes to bang first, so they're going to go after it, and I'm going to assume Robocop has more than Bruno. I think Robocop wins.
I'm not confident that he has better power than Bruno, but he's got 8 fights more than Bruno does. He's got almost double the experience as Bruno. I think he's significantly older than Bruno as well. No, actually, they're the same age. Interesting. I really think that RoboCop has fought like Chidi and Njokuani hits hard. Julian Marquez hits hard. Armin Petrosian's a good striker. The Iron Turtle hits pretty hard. Josh Fremd hits pretty hard. None of these dudes knocked him out. Like Bruno's, I mean, round one knockout, round one knockout, round one knockout, round two knockout, round one triangle, round one rear naked. I bet you both of those situations, he rocked the guy first, and then something weird happened. Round two knockout, round one knockout, round one armbar. Like he fought one. No. His last fight before the Contenders Series would have been a test. And then I guess all Contender Series fights are tests to some regard. But this dude's not tested. Like RoboCop is tested. I don't know if Bruno's good or not. I just don't know. And neither does he. So RoboCop, if it wasn't obvious.
I got you. Next fight. All right, Thiago Mousset, Meli Cazel Costa. I think this line is pretty fair. I mean, Thiago Mousset is about minus 450, minus 500. He's fought a lot of guys. He's got way more experience. He's very well rounded. Not that Costa doesn't do some things that we like, but I've seen him make a lot. I don't think he's going to keep up or outsmart Thiago Mousset. I think a lot of things have to go his way to win this fight. Mousset wins this fight. I wouldn't bet him, but I think he's a good parlay stuffer. It's too expensive.
Moises?
Yeah, I like Moises.
Thiago Moises?
Yeah,
I don't know anything about Costa. This is his very first UFC fight. His last fight was an LFA fight in Iowa. LFA is a good organization, and basically, if you win a title in LFA, you immediately go to the UFC. He was a main event, wasn't even for a title though, but got a knockout in the second round. Okay, so yeah, you go right into the UFC. That's just how that works. But I don't know. I don't see anything about him that is overly impressive. Well, actually, there's some pretty good fights in here. He's actually pretty battle tested. But so is Thiago Moises. I'm going to pick Thiago Moises just because he is a proven commodity in the UFC. But Melk seems like he might be pretty legit. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. Shoot the Box is a very big camp. He's coming out of Shoot the Box. And he's coming out of... There's a couple other guys in the UFC that train at that Shoot the Box as well. But not like an astronomical amount. So he might actually be getting good coaching there as well. He seems to be one of their top prospects. So I'm hoping that we've got another cool new Brazilian on the end, but I would expect Thiago Moises to be able to deal with him.
Mm-hmm.
25 fights on the regional series. That's crazy.
All right. Gabriel Bonfim, the Bonfim brothers on the same card in Brazil. That's going to create a buzz in the crowd. He's going to fight Muni Laizez. Bonfim is hyped. I don't know if he's overhyped yet. Mooney's definitely a big step up in my opinion. He's also going to have an 8-inch reach edge, I believe. Or is it 6? going to have it. I don't know how Bonfim deals with that, being that he's stepping up. He's going to step up in competition, and I'm sorry, it's only 4-inch reach edge, but it was more than that. Um, Mooney, he hasn't been that active. I mean, maybe you've known him when he upset Abdul Razak Al Hassan, but that was over 2 years ago at this point. But he showed a lot of skills.
He's got like some associations to some shady people that kept him out for a little bit or something like that.
Oh, really? All right.
Yeah.
Fighting out of Dubai. Yeah, I don't know of many MMA that are repping Dubai right now, even though I'm sure they have gyms and they can pay anyone to come out and train. Team Noguera Dubai. It's okay. Yeah, Worley Alves knocked him out as an underdog, but Mooney was a big favorite. Mooney's pretty much the favorite in a lot of his fights, and then he had a good decision win over Ang Lusa. I do think that Bonfim is special and has a lot of talent. Incredible grappling. I just don't know how that works here. Like, I don't know the caliber of people they might have good records. I just don't know how's he, he's taking them down. Okay. Well, Mooney, he's going to go up here and take Mooney down and control him and be able to submit him. I don't know if that's happening. Mooney's a really smart, well-rounded striker. I haven't seen much of his grappling. But it's tough. I don't know. I don't know it with his kickboxing and striking if that's going to stymie Bonfim for a little bit and keep him off. Yeah, I really don't know who to pick in this fight. Go ahead. What do you think? You have any? What about you?
I haven't ever. I haven't seen what's his name Bonfim fight. So I'm just going off of his record. Record. When you just look at the wins, it all looks pretty impressive. But then when you look at the opposition, this is actually a pretty carefully constructed record. He had, and none of it's bad. Like, this is not, other than when he was 5-0 and 6-0, fighting guys with only one pro fight. Everything else in here makes sense. But he did that up until his 11th fight, or his 10th fight. In his 10th fight, he fought a guy who was 8-0, and he beat that guy. Okay. 11th fight, a guy who's 13-3. All right. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I don't know, man. The Contender Series, you get who you get. I don't know who Trey Walters is, but he got Von Flue choked. He's a 6'5" welterweight. No wonder he was. Yeah. Okay. I don't think this guy is not likely that well developed.
Mm-hmm.
He's 13 fights, but it's 13 fights against nobody. And it's a lot of pretty quick victories, which means he's not had to like overcome a lot of adversity. He hasn't had a lot of lessons. So against somebody like Munir, but at the same time, man, I don't know how good Munir Lazez's takedown defense is. I just don't know. He's got like a 74% chance in defense, but Razak Al Hassan tried to take him down, and that guy's good, but He just doesn't do that, even though he used to. So I'm picking Munir. I would expect Munir to win. I don't, but I also didn't know there was hype on Gabriel. Uh, Nothing in there to me reads hype worthy, other than a pretty record.
Yeah, we have to. All right, I like it. You know what Lies says? I will go with. I guess I'm leaning Mooney as well, just to see what happens. I think. Yeah, all right. I'll go with Bonfim just to go have an opposite. Next fight, yeah, Jalton Almeida, Shamil Abdurakimov. This is their fourth time trying to rebook this. The only thing that makes sense to me is no one wants to fight Jalton, which I don't blame you. I mean, he's incredible. I think we've only seen the tip of the iceberg with him. We haven't seen his striking yet. He's actually been striking longer than he's been doing wrestling in BJJ. So yeah, he's a scary dude. I mean, Shamil. Maybe the Shamil long time ago could have a shot here with his power, like crack him once coming in for a takedown or something. But that guy's long gone. He's been smashed his last 3 fights. I don't see that stopping here. And Gilton, he's a guy who only needs 1 takedown. He's very patient. Doesn't rush anything. I have no fear that he's going to burn himself out in some way or anything. Yeah, he's minus 1,100. He should be. I mean, he's going to smash him. It's probably not even a good price on finish, but you can stuff him in a parlay for some value to win by finish. He'll probably be like minus 350, minus 400 to finish the fight. I mean, he's going to finish this fight. Do you have any other outcomes in your head on this fight?
I'm also very high on Jalton Almeida. Gets shot out like a cannon. Like, you call him patient, and I guess, yeah, that would be true. Yo, my man gets hit less than half a strike per minute.
Well, that's because he takes you down and just always gets your back right away, and he just
That's ridiculous. His submission average is 3.2 with 7 takedowns per 15 minutes. This is comical. This dude's insanity. Yeah, Abdurahimov's takedown defense isn't that good. It's only 47%. Let me make sure that he hasn't fought like the best wrestlers in the heavyweight division. He fought Curtis Blades, got taken down 5 times. Arlovsky took him down twice. Derek Lewis took him down. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Jalton Almeida's going to smash this guy.
Next fight, this is an interesting fight. This is the pick'ems. Terrence McKinney, T-Rex, Ismail Bonfim, the other Bonfim brother. People love T-Rex nowadays. I love some T-Rex. I mean, he comes out and he looks to smash. He's fucking incredible for a round. He's unbelievable for a round. Hasn't shown yet that he can put together a 3-round fight. I don't know. Yeah, does McKinney overwhelm Bonfim here? Or does Bonfim withstand the power, able to neutralize the grappling for the first round if he gets taken down, and then take over the fight? Yeah. Don't know. T-Rex cracked Drew Dober a few times, but Drew Dober has an otherworldly chin. He's just a really tough motherfucker. And he ended up getting knocked out. Other than that, I mean, he's finishing everyone, and he's finishing them fast. The thing that I'll say going for Bonfim's favor is he has last 3 fights has won by decision, so he does know how to get to a decision. I don't know if he knows how to survive getting hurt early, though. It seems like he's more of a hammer than a nail. So yeah, until I see it, I'm gonna go with McKinney. Not betting it, but just to pick, I'll go with McKinney.
I think it absolutely makes sense to bet McKinney in this fight. I think that the Bonfim brothers are an attraction.
Mm-hmm.
It does look like this is the better brother.
Yes, even though he's not undefeated, I do think this might be the more proven, well-rounded brother. But I could be wrong.
This been fighting longer. He's fought more consistently throughout the whole time. The other one's just kind of like raced to the top in the last couple of years. I think their last two fights have been on the same card. Like, that's just not the most common thing to do, but it is the kind of thing that you would do for promotional reasons. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like, you can now hype that you have, these brothers are fighting on the same card. Like when they got JP Bez in the UFC just so they could have a husband and wife fight on the same card, even though he didn't belong here.
That worked out terribly.
Right? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. These guys, their Contender Series fight was on the same night. And now they're making their debuts on the same night. I don't know, man. These guys might be these guys might be good, but I'm seeing a lot of red flags.
Yeah, I like it. I like where your head's at. All right. So you got T-Rex too. Okay, good fight here too. Warley Alves, Nicholas Dalby. Yeah. Dalby to me, so Dalby's red flags to me are he's a notoriously slow starter. Round one, he's almost non-existent. He usually finds a way he can get taken down early, but then he finds a way to stuff your takedown, and his gas tank is good, but he doesn't do anything that special after when his gas tank takes over. He just usually the other guy's really tired out, and he takes over, wins the fight. He is very tough to finish. Warley Alves, he's kind of has a rep like a Terrence McKinney. If he doesn't knock you out or get you out of there with his ground and pound in the first round rather than a half, he is going to gas and not be there anymore. I just, man, it's so hard for me to, like, I've seen what Nick Dalby does after, even though when he does take over, and it's hard for me to imagine Warley not being able to match that or at least return better. Yeah, so I'm going with Warley. Close fight, but I go with Warley.
Yeah. What's the line?
It's I think Warley's minus 120. It's very close.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Dalby, but I don't really expect Dalby to win.
Yeah, that's fine. It's also we just see go against me.
Yeah.
Moving on to fight, Josiane Nunez, we've seen against Zara Fayern, who we don't see that often. So I saw this line offshore, came out Josie Nunez minus 300, and I immediately thought I saw Christmas lights. I was like, oh my God, she's going to fucking destroy her. So other people thought so too. She's now minus 650. And for good reason. So Zara Fayern is, I think, 41 or something. She's on the wrong side of age. I don't know anything she does really well, except that she gets scheduled to get beaten up. And I think that has to tie into what you said about more of an attraction. This is the Brazil card. Hey, who can Josiane Nunez, who comes out in slugs and has some power, who can she knock out? Let's see if Zara Fayern's around. Is Josiane Nunez really high level? No. No, she doesn't. But she's going to be at a 6-inch reach disadvantage, but I don't know if that matters because Nunez she dealt with like a 10-inch reach disadvantage against Bea Malecki, who's a really tall girl, and she had no problem getting inside and lighting her up and knocking her out. she fought Ramona Pasquale, and she was a big favorite, and she was outstriking her badly first early. She didn't get her out of there. Um, and you know what? She dealt with the takedowns and takedown defense on a thicker, bigger girl um, pretty well. So Zara Fahier might be a little bigger, and she might have a reach edge that she can't really use, but I don't see what she brings to the table here. Comfortable laying that big of a money with Nunes? No, but definitely a good parlay stuffer. Pretty safe. She wins the fight.
Yeah, I don't remember ever seeing Zara fight, but Josie's gonna win. I'm curious what they're doing with the women's featherweight division. Like, why are they having random fights now? Before, they were only willing to have fights between like the top 3 girls.
Yeah.
Like, these girls aren't. I mean, Josie is number 9, I guess. But like, what are they doing? Are they actually trying to build this division now, or are they like, ooh, we're gonna get Kayla Harrison for one fight next year? Like, what are they doing? That's what I want to know with this fight. Is Josie going to be our next champion? If not, what are we doing?
You're just building up a home Brazilian crowd and just
no. I love that it's a Brazilian girl fighting. What are we doing with that weight class? Leah Letson was about to be able to fight again. Like, what are we doing with this weight class? All of a sudden, those fights are happening again? Interesting. Why now? So, Josie wins. Next fight, Luan Lazaredo versus
Cody Stamann. Yeah, second fight of the night. So we're going to have the American wrestler from ATT and UFC vet Cody Stamann against UFC newcomer, but going to be a crowd favorite because he's action, Luan Lacerda. So I'm going to go with this as my upset of the night, and I'm probably going to regret it. I think Lacerda does some really bush league stupid things that wouldn't work, that shouldn't work in the UFC. He likes to pull guard in MMA fights because he's a really slick submission artist. They generally do really, really poorly against wrestlers. Cody Stamann is a really good wrestler. Cody Stamann, I think, has some underrated striking. That being said, I don't think he can finish anyone with his striking. His wrestling's excellent. He usually gets out wrestled if the fight goes on by better guys, but he is a good wrestler. Lacerda is just, I don't know. Something's telling me that like this younger guy with this crowd behind him, I mean, he's going to be trying to crack. I don't know. I don't know if Stamann wants to. Does Stamann want to go down there with him? If he has to take him down, does he want to play that game against a guy that's really good, really active? I don't know. I think this is closer than people think. I don't think this is a layup. This line's come down a little bit, but Cody Stamann did get as big as like a -600 favorite, which I don't know. I don't see how. But I really think this is going to be closer than people think. So I'm going to go with this upset. I think Lacerda is going to get this upset somehow. I think even if Stamann keeps taking him down, I think Stamann is going to get a little tired. I think he might find a mistake and he finds a submission in the second or third round. So I'm going to bet those props to Lacerda. Round 2 sub, round 3 sub.
Lacerda actually looks really good on paper. I haven't seen him fight either, but he has no cans on his record. Wow. No. Okay. He has no he beat Julian Paiva when Julian was 6-0 and he was 3-1. Ari Farias was just the main event of LFA last weekend. Ari's not going to make it to the UFC, but his third fight ever was against Ari. That's his only loss was against Ari's stupid high level jiu-jitsu. Like, was on the world podium at 18 or at 19, 20, 21, and 22 years old in jiu-jitsu.
Good.
Like, he's that good on the ground. So if this is a guy who's like pulling guard on people all the time, I'm not surprised. Looking at his
And
record,
he's got an 8-inch reach advantage if you choose. I forgot about that.
yeah. I've never been overly impressed by Stamen.
Agreed.
Nothing bad. Like, he's fought a lot of dudes. But I could definitely see this being the moment where the guy wins his first UFC fight against a UFC like actual veteran. That would make total sense to me in this fight.
Are you backing this underdog too? Is this the first time we agree on a big underdog? Wow.
Oh, I didn't know you did that.
Yeah, we both got this guy, so we're gonna bet him. I'm gonna bet him for us in the subs, and we're not gonna be. We won't get lucky together. All right, last one. Daniel Marcos, Simon Oliveira. Oh, you picked this actually before, so you must have info on this. Please share it, because you had to pick on this fight before I did.
It's not that I really have any. I don't have any extra information. I just actually watched these guys fight, and Simon, like, he's a. So here's what it came down to: one guy is not a striker, one guy is a striker. The guy that's not a striker doesn't have the greatest takedowns. Like, he wants to grapple. He doesn't have the greatest takedowns. He's pretty good on the floor, but he doesn't have the greatest takedowns. And then the guy that doesn't want to grapple seems to have decent takedowns. And then it was like, okay, so how are their styles going to match up? Like, what are they going to be like? How does Marcos fight? Oh, he's a Thai style fighter. Okay, is he going to be able to beat? Is he going to be able to deal with whatever Simon Oliveira presents? Oh, he's also a Brazilian Thai style fighter, but he's not. Oh, okay, yeah, all right. Like, give me the boxer who can anti-wrestle versus the jiu-jitsu guy that tries to box. Right? Like, it's the math is that simple to me.
Yeah, it makes sense. I did throw a bet on Marcos at plus 160 just because I thought Simon Oliveira should never be a minus 200 favorite over anyone. So yeah, I did have a bet on that, and that line's gotten a lot closer. So yeah, I like Marcos too to win the fight. So you got some good underdogs on this fight, guys. Marcos Lacerda, Shogun Rua, we both agree on. Those are three really good underdogs. Jeez, I like it. If you want to get crazy, I think Neil Magny is going to be in the fight. Big favorites. You can throw in some parlays. Josh likes Gilbert Burns. We both agree on Moose. Hilton Almeida wins by finish, and Josiane Nunes wins the fight as well. So if you all four of those selections will get you in a parlay, you'll get even money or a little better, for some giant favorites. Yeah, I think you can probably add Paul Craig, Johnny Walker fight to not go the distance, because that's probably not going the distance one way or another. Yeah, and then you probably get yourself up to almost a plus 200 parlay for the night, which is good. And you got all outcomes that are in your favor to happen. It looks like it's all we got for this week, this card. Enjoy UFC 283. If you enjoy the content, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Hit us up. Curious to know your thoughts. Any information helps. Don't mind talking about it at all.
If you really, really enjoy the content, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go find somebody and tell them that we said the most heinous shit. Like 37 minutes. Maybe it was 40 minutes. It might have been 32 minutes. It was right around there. I can't believe it. Leave this as a comment. Like, oh, those motherfuckers. I can't believe that. It'd be beautiful.
Can't believe it. Shit.
Thank you so much. I love you so much. This time and every time. Thank you for being here.